What's up, everybody? How you doing? Mike Watson here. Monday, new episode today. Let's do it. Get it popping. I'm excited. So many reasons. You don't know why, because I won't tell you. It just has to be the way it is. Sorry. Basically, know that there's an announcement coming October 1st. There's some stuff coming from the camps I'm involved with. There's some people that are being worked. There's just some stuff happening. All right. And it went way better than I thought it was going to go. Like my art virtual yard sale last night. It went pretty damn good. Shout out to everyone that showed up for it last night. Shout out to everyone that bought some art last night. About half of the people, I got your stuff mailed off to you today. I'm waiting for some other people to contact me so I can get the rest of that stuff mailed off today. So if you're watching, I got your stuff packed up, sealed. I just need you to get a hold of me so I can get it out to you ASAP. Hey, I'm feeling a little froggish, man. Feeling real amped up. And then you say, what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Oh, you don't know who I am. You don't know what the show is. Because I just came on here like a child and just started talking because I'm so excited. That's fine. I can do that, man. That's easy. Well, this is Chat and Draw. It's a show where I chat and draw. Scribble. Normally, I have somebody else on the virtual other side of this table with me, and it's a creator. And we talk about their comic book, or we talk about their Kickstarter, or we talk to the fan that has me doing a fan episode, or a Patreon episode, or for a first time ever tonight, because we're doing a double hitter, TikTok, YouTube famous episode. All right, yeah, I'm doing some social media icons out here tonight, man. We are making it pop. Yes. As for me, who I am, the guy that's choking. Let me hit this Fago. I don't think that works. I am the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group, founder of Freestyle Comics, one half of the good, the bad, the nerdy, the most enthusiastic person in comics, aka going by the moniker of the Superman brother, Mike Watson, your host today and every day on Chat and Draw. Now, are we good? We're good? We're on the same page? Awesome. Now, I've just shared this out to a lot of places. So please tune in and watch. What are we doing? Hey, we got some people watching. Great. Excellent. All right, so let's get some pleasantries out the way here. All right, so you did hear me right. Tonight, I'm doing a double hitter. All right? It's going down. I got my first guest today. We're going to get this done. We're going to get through this one. It's going to be a horror-filled, zombie-filled, blood-splattering adventure for the first half of it. And then the second half, I'm venturing into the depths of TikTok and YouTube as I bring on my first social media guest for the second half. And that will take place 9 p.m. tonight. I'll take a little bit of a break, eat the spaghetti and buttered bread my wife brought me, and then I'll jump back into the drawing saddle and get this digital crap going. So, now that all that's out the way, you know what's going on. The art yard sale, which was a success, by the way. Did I not tell anybody that? Anyway, everybody, all right. I will be doing that again because I got a ton more art, and Sean Mack cussed me out. So there are going to be a couple things added to the venue or whatnot, and because of that, we got some things that we're going to add to future Kickstarters. Man, I am excited. And I got my Hawkeye figure. I found my Hawkeye MCU Marvel Legends figure this weekend. Shout out Phil Carter for telling me where to go, because I got him. It's a hard-ass figure to find, man. All right, man, without further ado, I'm done wasting time bullcrap and talking your ear off. Let's get into the show.
Here comes a new challenger.
Jonathan Hedrick, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Mike? Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Thanks for coming on to the show today. Man, we are having a good time. I'm super excited. If you cannot tell, I'm normally like this. All right. I forgot one thing in my excitement. Let me shout out my Patreon members: Andrew Duggan, Haley Dennis, Bradley Arney, Tom Kelly, and Unlikely Hero Studios. Without you, I would not have a Patreon account. Thank you so much. And the Patreon has all been updated. All of it's updated. I said I'd do it, and I did it. I did not lie. I just took too long, but it's done. All right, so let's see what we got. J-Man's in the building, man. J-Man, how you doing? All right. Cameron, what's up, man? How you doing? Doom Simpson in the building. And Brad, what's up? All right. Jonathan. Actually, you got on this show because of Brad, right?
I can't remember who recommended it. It might have been Brad.
No, I think it was Travis.
Travis Gibb. Yeah,
Travis Gibb, because I
Yep.
got another Brad recommendation coming on the show. So everyone's looking out.
That's good. That's good.
All right, so Jonathan, tell us about yourself. Why you're here? What do we get into? Tell everybody who you are, and also he has this thing coming or happening right now that I just put in the comments. It's a Kickstarter, everybody.
Yeah. So my name is Jonathan Hedrick. I'm a indie comic book writer. My first comic book came out last year in October, and since then I've self-published about 4 other comic books. And behind me is my upcoming book that's coming out from Scout Comics called The Recount. That drops November 11th at your local comic book store. But I'm mostly here to promote my Kickstarter for Freakshow Night. That's with the night with a K. It's a companion piece to my first comic book, Freakshow Princess, which won several accolades for best zombie comic, best horror comic. So I wrote a companion piece to it, different main character, but still set in the same universe. And he's the main character. His name is Red, who's loosely based off of my father, and he's a former prisoner who's now out in the wild defending himself against the zombies. So that's live on Kickstarter for a few more days. If you want to check that out, we're fully funded, unlocked a lot of stretch goals, so good things are happening. Glad to be here.
Awesome, man. That's excellent. Congratulations on being funded. How many days we got left on this joint?
We have 64 hours, so less than 3 days.
All right, so we're closing it out for you, man. Let's go big.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, so you know my thing. Here it is, Kickstarter. 3 ways you can help out. You can do all 3 of them, or you can just pick one of them. Obviously, go to this Kickstarter. The link is in the chat. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Click that link, copy that link, go to it, check out the rewards. Find a reward you like. If you like a reward, donate and pledge to it. Second thing you could do, or one thing that you could do out of the 3, is share it. Advocate for us. Let us know that this Kickstarter is around, because your audience, your social media network may not know about this book and they may be interested in it. Other thing you could do, donate just $1. $1 helps. If 1,000 people donate $1 each, that's $1,000, and that is nice. Plus, that is a huge audience. You got 1,000 people backing you on one Kickstarter. That's incredible. You know what I'm saying? So you'll probably hear me say it 2 or 3 more times or whatnot, but that's the nature of the business. The link is in there. And you guys and gals know how this works. You got any questions or comments, put them in there. I'm going to try to be as aware as I can be of this. Eventually, I'll be able to afford a production designer that can help me catch these questions and stuff like that while I can just draw. But we're not there yet. But you can always help us get there. Tell us about this character. This character's name is Red.
Red, yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, he's loosely based off of my father, the same name. My actual biological father is in prison, and I didn't meet him until about 5 years ago. I found him online because he had a criminal record, and since then we've been, getting to know each other over letters and phone calls. And I actually flew out to Colorado, where he's that the facility he's at. So when I was coming up with the idea of a follow-up to Freakshow Princess, I wanted to do something, a little bit more wild, because the first book takes place inside of a house. It's all boarded up, and the zombies are on the outside. So I didn't want to repeat that same story. So I was like, I need to have someone on the outside that's really roughing it. So I thought about my father, who, he went to prison for violent crime, and prison's a violent place. And I like the concept of, how someone would survive in a zombie apocalypse that has had that type of history of their life. So I explored that and came up with the story for Freakshow Night. So, he's been a loner all his life, before, during, and after prison. So it kind of makes sense that he would be in a situation where he's having to, fight off the undead on a daily basis. It's almost something that he's kind of used to doing, a mundane life over and over again, day in, day out, just like prison, just like before. So, yeah.
So here's the $1 million question.
Mhm.
Why I mean, because I've never heard of such a thing. We did not know who our father was. You looked him up. You found him. He's in jail. You said for a violent crime, and you decided to make a comic book about him.
Yeah.
Why?
I just thought there was a good story there. I wrote in why his story of his true story of why he was in prison into this comic book, but with like a zombie twist. And it was just there was just too much story to not have it in a comic book. So it was a way of it's really cathartic in a way to write a character like that. And I told him about it, and he's like he's really flattered and excited. He just asked that I didn't kill him off. But I was like, I'm not making any promises on that one.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how does this meeting go? I mean, do you have any long residing feelings about your dad not being here, or are you guys working this out? And you said this is lethargic for you, so like, is like while you're writing this, are you visiting your dad at the same time? Are you asking him certain questions? Where have you involved him? I'm sorry, I've just had so many questions.
No, it's good questions. Yeah, we're on good terms. I put all that stuff behind me a long time ago, even before I even reached out to him. And my first letter that I wrote when I first found him was just saying, hey, there's nothing I want from you more than just to get to know you. I'm not coming after you for money or to complain or give you a hard time. And I got a lot of good out of that. I've been able to meet other family members from his side that live really close to me. So, it's better to be positive in a situation like this. So I'm looking forward to him, having this comic book in his hands one day.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
See, all right, there we go. Trying to keep up with all, make sure I'm not missing any comments or anything like that, and we're good to go. All right. So, walk me through your thought process for this, man. You find your dad, you're writing him letters, you're up there visiting him. What does this thought process look like when you come to realization, I can make this into a story? I can do this as a comic book character. And what was the moment that made it click for you?
Yeah, well, when it came to Freakshow Princess, the first one, I had no idea I would be here a year later, after writing my first and self-publishing my first comic book. And that one was intended to be a one-shot, but I've got so much great feedback and positive, stuff about it that I couldn't leave it alone. I had to, make something else without ruining that first story. So when I was thinking of an MC, I wanted someone that was burly and just a big guy, and I just pictured someone that was grungy looking, and I just thought my father looks like that. He's bald, he's got long hair, he was a biker, and that's a kind of like a cool character. That's a cool look when you're trying to fight the zombies away. So and then his origin story, for lack of better words, it's a solid story. It's tragic, it's interesting. So yeah, I couldn't not leave it alone right there. There's too much story to tell.
So how did the conversation go with you and him when you said, hey, was it, hey, I'm making you into a comic character, you can't stop me, or do you mind if I make you into a comic character?
I told him, hey, I wrote a comic book, and the main character is based off of you. Your likeness is going to be portrayed, and it's happening. And he was like I said, he was flattered. He thinks it's really cool, because I've been telling him in my letters and phone calls to him past year and a half about this, my comic career basically that's beginning, and he's really interested in it. It's just a shame that I can't send him copies, because that it just can't work out that way. But
Oh, you
eventually.
can't.
Nope. You can only get things that are sent directly from the publisher, and from certain like marketplaces like Amazon and things like that. It's just there's so many rules around those things because they don't want people, sneaking in razor blades in a comic book or whatever. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, it could be considered contraband. But yeah, he's really excited about it. I think it's really cool that he wasn't upset about it.
Are you, Miles? Okay, it's because me and mommy like Buster Rhymes.
That's
All
looking
right, man.
good.
Thank you. That's really cool, man. Like I said, that's very interesting. I know,
Yeah.
me personally, Hot Shot. My book came from trying to deal with a breakup that I couldn't get over back in college, and it
Mhm.
was really hard for me, harder than any breakup that I had prior to that or whatnot. And trying to make my story about like, well, what happens if the hero does not get the girl? Like, what if she's just lost, not because she's dead, but because the relationship ended, and that's his fault. And exploring what that's like or whatnot. So there's a lot of people out here making comic books that revolve around things that they experienced, and that's
Yeah.
really cool. So yours is definitely a first for me. So I'm even that much more interested now
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
in what's going to be happening here.
Well, they say write what you know, and I think all my comic books have a piece of me in it or an experience in some way, shape, or form. Because it's in the front of your mind, and you got to get it out.
Hmm.
And what a better place to do it than in storytelling.
Right.
You can share that with other people, and with the comics, you're sharing it with the art as well. Just a great experience.
So is this a one shot or ongoing series that we're doing here?
It's a one shot that's set in the same universe as other comic books. So
Okay.
this is the second one in a universe I'm calling the Freakshow Kingdom. So
Okay.
the first one was Freakshow Princess. That one came out last year. This is Freakshow Night. And then one of my stretch goals for this campaign was I had a buddy of mine, David Galliano, who writes Savage Bastards at Mad Cave. He wrote,
Oh, Mad Cave. I know those guys.
yeah, he wrote a 8-page ash can, and I paid for it to be drawn, colored, and lettered. And so that's called Freak Show Jester. So now we have 3 stories in this Freak Show kingdom, and my goal is just to put out another one shot once a year, and maybe have other creators do some 8-pagers and build upon this world where they're all one shots, but they still have a common thread, and you'll see connections through all of them. But they're
Mhm.
all self-contained, and you don't need to read all of them to enjoy them. And then maybe I'll publish like a trade that collects them all, a few years down the road. And give it like a cool anthology feel because they're all going to have a different art team. And like I said, I'm going to start bringing in other creators, different writers. So it's a early concept, but there's something there.
No, no, definitely, definitely, it is for sure. How many pages is this one?
24.
Okay.
Yep. 24 pages, and the artist is Stefano Cartaselli. He's a Italian artist that's done a lot of work at Heavy Metal Magazine, at Scout, Caliber. Um, he's an amazing artist. He does the pencils, inks, and he's watercoloring all the pages too.
Oh,
So
okay.
very
Awesome.
traditional work, and it's banging art.
It's got a lot of. It's visceral, man. It's visceral.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the word I'm looking for. There's a lot going on in there. It's
right.
very in your face. Like
Hmm.
it's like you're gonna take me and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, yeah, and I wanted to have a different art style for this one to matches the character. Stefano's art, the lines are very, rigid and straight. They're not as curvy. It's not. It's beautiful, but beautiful in not the normal way that you would think that. So by finding an artist that fits the story, it just elevates it that much better.
So how long did it take you to find the artist?
I found him pretty quickly. I wrote the script. I reached out to my editor at Scout and said, "Hey, do you know anyone that might be interested in doing a zombie book for me?" And he mentioned Stefano, and so I reached out to him, and one thing led to another, and we were making this book.
All right, so this is being based off your dad and whatnot. What are we talking here? What does this character? What does Red like to eat?
He's a salt of the earth type guy, so I would say steak and potatoes. But he would chew. He'd be one of those guys at the theme park that's chewing on one of those turkey legs, walking around, and it's dripping on his chest and his belly.
Okay.
You
I see it.
Mhm.
Absolutely. That's probably the best answer I've gotten from somebody that I've asked that. Not that I couldn't see it with other characters, but
Right.
that's perfect.
Yeah. He was in his heyday. He was a amateur kickboxer, very athletic, very fit. He volunteered to go to Vietnam because all his buddies got drafted. He told me one day he went to the hangout spot where they all went, and he was the only one there because everyone else went, to war. So he's like, "Well, if they're going, I'm going too." And he signed himself up. So,
Okay.
and that was pretty cool because I was in the army too, so we have that in common.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I got a couple questions here.
Sure.
I'm doing that thing I do where I get lost in art. Cameron says that's real. James says, Jonathan, I will say your synopsis of this story is original and creative, but here is my question. Did you have reservations at first doing a zombie story, since for a few years the market was oversaturated with zombie comics, movies, and with The Walking Dead's early success?
Yeah, there's definitely some reservations when it comes to telling a zombie tale. You have to do it though in an original way. You can't recreate anything that's already done. The people are going to find the similarities because it's such a niche genre. So I didn't go into it trying to recreate The Walking Dead. That's a very serialized story that came out month to month, and you follow the same characters throughout that entire long run. So that's why I'm doing it as one shots with different main characters each time. So you don't have to follow these people for years on end. And it was definitely saturated for a while. It got to a point where it was a zombie movie at the theater every single once a month or something like that. But again, it's just about being creative, making sure you're not copying anything else. And the whole thing with my zombie stories is the zombies are in the background. They're not the main characters, and you could remove the zombies, and the theme is still the same. It's stories of sacrifice and redemption, and it could take place in a different type of genre. I just chose zombies. That's a good question.
All right. YS Books ask, do you have any tips for turning your traditional story into a comic?
Yeah. So my very first comic book, Freakshow Princess, actually was written as a short story about 10 years ago, because that's, I've always been a writer for fun and just would write little short stories or, one pagers, and never did anything with them. I had these little stories in my mind, and I had to get them out on paper just so they weren't, scratching away in my skull all the time. So when I decided to adapt that one into a comic, I did a lot of research and checked out a lot of books at the library on, how to write comic books and, the structure of writing a comic book script. So, and I'll tell you this, there's no set in stone way of writing a comic book. There's a certain expectation of how to write it, but there's not one perfect way of doing it. So, do your research, check out some books, and find out which way is the best format for you.
Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how to write comics, so
Me too.
there is no set formula.
Nope.
Whatever you got to do to tell your story.
Exactly. Yeah, and a lot of pros have put their some samples online too. So look at what their formats are, see which one you like the best, and what fits your story the best. You don't have to do it the same way each time either. It's going to be a learning process.
Right. Let's see here. Cameron said, "Thanks for the tips." Let's see. Oh, Cameron says, "Beastly, thank you." If you're talking about the art, Cameron, appreciate that. Army Greenside. Are you saying that's where you served at? And J-Man says, "The Walking Dead is named wrong. The book and TV show should have been called Fear the Living."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, J-Man, if I agree with that, because the whole thing is they're dead. Because as soon as they die, they turn into a zombie whether they're bit or not. So it's just internal. It's just a thing that's going to go on forever until somebody finds a cure. But chances are they are not finding a cure in this situation they are in, or whatnot. So that's why it's called The Walking Dead. But the theme of the show is Fear the Living, because zombies are norm now. Zombies are like rain, they're like snow, they're a hurricane or whatever. They've learned how to work through that, and it's the people that are messed up.
Yeah, you see the ugly side of humanity when everything collapses, and I think that's what we've got a taste of that this year. Once toilet paper starts running out, people got really nasty, and that was just toilet paper. What happens? What happens if it's AC and the internet, cell phones? People lose their mind.
Hey, you ain't said nothing but a word. They were going crazy for that dang TP.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I got stressed a little bit too.
I was just getting pissed. I couldn't find. Like, are you serious? There's so much toilet paper, and then I'm watching the video of how toilet paper is made. Like, how are we running out of toilet paper?
Yeah.
Just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. We'll look back on this and laugh.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I just want to get to the new norm, man. Whatever the new norm is, I want to get there. Now, I miss comic book conventions.
100% agree with you right there. I can't wait till they're back in full effect. I know there's some sprouting up here and there, but it's just not the same right now. People still are hesitant, as they have the right to be, to get out there, and it's just not the same experience when everyone spreading apart. Even though that's what I hated the most about cons was walking around, people rubbing all up against you. It almost sounds like a better experience, but I don't think any of them are bringing in the big name draws yet. So
no, they're not. And, then it really sucks that a lot of people aren't following the guidelines or anything, because there are other countries that have returned back to normal function because they followed the guidelines, and we could have been at that status. So that's probably what's annoying me the most.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Cameron said, "No props. Yeah, we're forgetting who we are." Alrighty. Cool. So what can you tell about the future plans of this? Do you think do you already have stories written out for more stuff, or have you not gone that far yet?
Well, I have a brief synopsis or outline for the next year's Freak Show one shot. and it ties closer to this story than this story tied into the previous one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because again, the first one I wasn't planning on, doing anything that would follow up to it. It was just a one and it's supposed to be a one and done, but I got just so much, so many compliments on it, so many comments asking for more. So, I only did it because I found something that was organic. I didn't want to force, I definitely didn't want it to be a sequel, but I wanted it to be connected somehow. So yeah, hopefully next year there's something, more in the Freak Show universe, but it is teased in this issue. I just don't want to spoil anything.
Oh no, we don't want you to spoil either.
Right. But it was a lot of fun setting up that tease. I'm a big supporter of setting up your writing so you have more stuff to write later, not writing yourself into a corner, and then you can't get out of it. And you have to find some cheap writing trope to get yourself out of it.
Big fan of that. My editor in chief, Danny Cooper, is also a fan of that. We were just discussing one of the story arcs that we had nailed down, or that because he's writing it, that he liked and we had nailed down for a while. And then today he told me, yeah, so all right, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna do this instead. And I was like, what? But it was so much more. It was in your face and it hit you right in the gut that way. He's like, I know, but I'm setting up for the long game. I was like, all right, I respect that. But dang it, I really like that first pitch, man. You made me fall in love with that. But the long game is good, man. The long game is good. That's the thing I struggle with and trying to have patience with, is trying to create my own long game.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a lot of thought in advance. And you can tell when you read comics, the writers that have that down pat.
Oh yeah, and I hate them.
Yep.
Much.
They're annoyingly good.
Right, like who was doing that to me the most? Like Robert Kirkman was killing me, man.
Yeah.
And then actually the person that killed me with it, and I'm glad I didn't watch or start reading Naruto when it first came out, because I got tired of the cartoon. I got tired of the cartoon with all the filler episodes, so I was like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna read the manga. All right, I've been avoiding it. I'm just gonna read the manga, and I read all 700 issues of that book, and I want to punch that writer in the face. His long game is extremely long. Like,
yeah.
As I read it, and then more stuff got revealed, and then you finished a story arc, you went to the next story arc, and then this got revealed. I'm like, how far in advance did he plan this? Like, how much of this was already concocted and worked out to where he just started like tear dropping it? Because like you can see signs of stuff all the way back in the first issue, and you're like, wow, I hate him, I love him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of like the.
It's just mean when they're that good.
Yeah. So who are some of your inspirations, man?
Well, anytime I get asked that, the first person that comes to mind is Chuck Dixon, because I really got into comic books in the 90s, and he was writing a lot of Batman titles, but the main one for me from him was that Robin solo series in the 90s, as well as Nightwing. And and Chuck Dixon was a big part of the Nightfall crossover, with Bane, and that was just
another one.
Yeah, talk about long games, So Chuck Dixon growing up. Lately, writers that I'm really into now is like Jeff Lemire. He does Gideon Falls and a lot of other horror books. He had an awesome run on Animal Man when the New 52 started. I've always been a fan of Alan Moore, big Swamp Thing fan, V for Vendetta, of course, Watchmen. I love Tom King. His Mr. Miracle maxi series was fantastic. Donny Cates, his Venom series is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his indie stuff is really good too, like God Country.
Mhm.
So
Cameron says he was on USMC base watching Naruto from get go. Loved it. Yeah, I did too, man. It just, but then, man, them fillers just they get annoying. Like I'm trying to see the story, but I say fillers are annoying, and I read 700 issues. But when you're reading the manga, it's only like 15 or 16 pages per issue or whatnot. But yeah, I use that as a big inspiration for how Invincible
yeah,
and Naruto are probably my biggest inspirations for how I'm trying to set up and write the story for Hotshot.
yeah, Invincible. That's another good one. Speaking of Kirkman.
Yeah, and then you said well, what's his name? The guy that's writing the X-Men right now.
Oh, Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah, like
Yes,
what the heck?
he's a genius. I mean, it's like this guy should be writing other things beyond comic books.
Yeah, man. I've been reading his run of X-Men. I'm just like, man, finally somebody is bringing the X-Men back to the light, back
Yeah.
to the centerfold or whatnot, and again, I gotta wonder, like, so Victor Dandridge is my brother, and he wrote the first 6 issues of Hotshot, and so I'm always over his house, and I've seen his board when he writes. He's just got ideas all connecting and spread out, notes everywhere on this big dry erase board or whatnot, and then notes on his desk, and I'm like, he does all that. Like
Yeah.
that looks like a lot, plus the writing. That looks like a lot to me, but then I try to imagine on the scale of writing, rewriting, re-editing, reintroducing the X-Men to the world and everything that he's introduced so far. I'm like, so, can someone put me in a hyperbolic time chamber, please?
Yeah, it's too good. I just reread Hickman's series over at Image called The Manhattan Projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading that. I'm like, man, he's just too smart, or I'm just too dumb. This is just, but it's so good.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So let me see here. I got a question from here we go. YS Book says I have a 4-book series that I was thinking turn into an anime series, but maybe a comic is better. What do you think, Jonathan?
Yeah, the comic, you're gonna be able to get that comic book out way sooner in people's hands than you're going to get an animated series. So that's the best thing about comic books right now is you can self-publish on your own and then see where it goes from that, and that could be a good source material for the animated series if it ever gets picked up like that. So yeah, it's gonna be harder for it to go from an animated series to a comic book, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. But I think you should still work on the animated series, obviously, while you're still making the comic book. But you'll probably get quicker results from that comic book, and if that comic book slaps, you can probably get somebody to pick that up.
Exactly.
I know my man TJ Sterling right now is working on an animated trailer or animated clip for his stuff, and it looks fantastic. But he's got a few different comic books out as well, so comic books can help you get help or audience that you need to do that animated stuff.
Right.
Normally save these for last. I really enjoy drawing hands.
There's Knuckles though.
Man, I feel like he's got some serious knuckles, dog. He's out here. He's been in jail and now he's out here fighting a zombie. Dated, like you said, it's routine. It's like my wife and I watched this show called Podark, and one of the it like takes place in the 1900s, and one of the noblemen, he's not broke. He's still got his house and stuff, but they lost their money. So he's got to go out and do the yard work. And they had one of those scythes to cut the grass. And this yard is huge. My man was out there for 5 minutes and then he screamed. He was like, damn, these blisters. And he stormed off. So I immediately, when I saw your character, I would imagine he's got like bare knuckled, hardened blisters, calluses and all of it, because this is his life. This is what he's used to.
Yeah. Weathered. That's the
word. Weathered. That's it right there. Yeah, I mean, this is no game to him.
Nope.
All right. So, what's your favorite reward tier on that Kickstarter?
My favorite one is probably the I called it the slabbed freak show, and
Mhm.
that one gets you all the covers raw. In addition to that, one of the covers will also be sent off to CGC in a signature series, with my signature on it.
Okay.
And I'm not pushing that one because it's the most expensive one. It just happens to be the most expensive one. But what I like about it is we were talking about the cons being, few to far none right now. So, this gives people an opportunity if you're a collector and you want that, you like your comics graded and with the yellow label on it to get that done. And I'll be the middleman. I can send it off myself, and you don't have to have some facilitator at a con that doesn't exist right now and wait for that book to come back. So yeah, I thought that was. I always try to do something different with all my Kickstarters. Have a new type of reward, test it out, see how it goes. So yeah, I think that's my favorite one.
Man, that's pretty awesome. My buddy
Yeah.
Victor Dandridge, aka my brother, he's got a Kickstarter going on, and he's got a couple of rewards like that. I
Mhm.
always think that kind of stuff is cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm super excited. Those hands are wrapped around that spike pole, man.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things about drawing digitally is that I can add these different layers to it
Hmm.
and really draw things the way they need to be attached to something. Then instead of trying to figure out where that line lays or whatnot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Fuck, freaking love drawing.
Man, I wish I could draw.
No, you don't, man. There's this hidden subconscious obligation to feel like you have to do something with
Oh
it.
yeah.
It stays with you everywhere you go.
Oh yeah, that's a burden, I imagine.
Yeah, this guy's pretty freaking fun.
Yeah.
It's like freaking angry Santa.
It, I'm seeing a little bit of Maestro from the Hulk comics,
Oh shoot!
right?
Yeah, no, you're right. I did not mean to do that. It just is how it
That's
came out.
it worked. It's working though.
See where we're at. Oh, we're making good time here. All right, we got Brad wants to know, are there further issues of Capable in the works?
Capable, yeah. Bonus points, Brad. So those that don't know, I have a superhero series called Capable. 2 issues are out for that. I had a successful Kickstarter a few months ago. That one, Capable is the elevator pitch is one day people with disabilities around the world wake up with superpowers that are opposite of what their handicap was. Um, so the main character, Derek Davidson, he's in a wheelchair, wakes up one day and now he's a speedster. And you see him learning his new powers while also having to be a high school student and fighting off some people that are choosing to do the wrong thing with their superpowers. So Capable 3 is practically done, just need the lettering done. And I'll probably crowdfund that one as soon as I fulfill all the rewards for Freakshow Night. There's also a 10-page short story that's complete, and I'm just waiting for the anthology that one's a part of to launch. I think that's going to be later this year as well. And that 10-page short story, it runs concurrently with the events in issue 1. So yes, more Capable is coming. So yeah.
Hey, don't sleep on Brad Arnie, man. He is a indie comic book connoisseur. My man gets them a lot.
Good on him.
So with that sounds dope, by the
Thank
way.
you.
So do the kids, so they no longer handicapped, or is it
Yeah.
like a limited use with the power?
They're no longer handicapped. They are, as the title says, capable, but now they're more than that. So they went from one extreme to the other, and that's where the storytelling really comes into play. Is imagine you're someone that identifies as a person with disabilities, and you've been picked on, bullied, ridiculed, and then one day you are the complete opposite. Now you're super powered. You're more capable than what people would be considered average or normal. So that's where the dilemmas come into play, and
Uh-huh.
I love that book. That's my I'm a proud parent of that one. I wish I could make that a monthly series, but the indie pace keeps me from doing that. But one day maybe. But yeah, Capable 3. It's almost done.
That's what's up, man. I like
Yeah,
how that sounds.
yeah. Thank you. Lots of cool twists coming from that one. I really like to play with that whole world of what is even considered a disability. Well, a lot
Mhm.
of people think first they think physical, people in wheelchair, people in crutches, but there's mental disabilities too. And what would
Mhm.
that look like if someone gained a superpower that's opposite of what their mental disability was?
Oh shoot, you're absolutely right. So, can you give us an example, or would that be
So
spoilers?
Uh, I can give you a spoiler-free one. Like, so what if someone was schizophrenic, right?
Hmm.
You know, what would that look like in a superpower version of that? Would that person have like heightened senses? Would they be, super aware of their surroundings to the point where they can maybe predict the future? I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
Or multiple personality disorders. Would the superpower for that be someone that could, clone themselves? Who knows?
Okay, you out here
This,
playing games. All right, Jonathan.
taking a page out of Hickman's book, I guess.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah.
I like how it sounds. J Man says, Mike, every week it's a treat to see your style change week after week. Some days you channel Dolan Bluth, if I'm pronouncing that right or wrong, I'm sorry. Then other times your style looks like manga or Street Fighter anime style. So cool. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Hands that can. Cameron said hands that can strangle a bear. I love it. I didn't realize up until that moment, Cameron, that's what I was going for with the hands. I want Red to be able to strangle a bear.
Bear fighter.
Same here.
Hmm.
Cameron's wishing he could draw. Capable issue number 1 has a powerful cover, and Cameron says that is wild. All right, where are we at? Yeah, I mean, this is super fun. Again, it's one of the reasons why I like doing the show. I'm also trying to force and push myself to, improve as an artist.
Yeah, it's a cool concept. People get to watch you draw, and people are chatting about it. It's yeah. I didn't know anyone was doing anything like this. That's pretty cool.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I
Yeah,
appreciate you coming on the show and
yeah,
giving me a
definitely,
chance to play in your world for a little bit.
absolutely.
Oh, I just had an idea. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because I saw somebody draw a picture of somebody getting punched, and the picture was so well drawn, and it was done in a great style. And I was like, it was just missing one thing. It needs a few speed lines on it to just deliver that impact
Mhm.
to really show it. I took comic book class at CCAD, and some of the stuff that we went over, that and with YouTube videos that I've watched is that you got to be careful with how you show impact and punches and kicks, that they're not so on the nose, because even though we're talking about we draw on these characters and whatnot with all these powers, it negates some of their power, it stifles it.
Mhm.
So if you're doing something that's so spot on, you got to add a little bit more effect to it to make it carry over.
That makes sense.
Mm. Oh shoot! I've seen that cover. Brad just sent me the cover.
Oh,
In Facebook.
for capable, yeah.
Yeah, that I have seen that cover before. That is fire.
Thank you. That artist, his name is Gino Casmianto. He's from Indonesia, and he actually is the artist on the 8-page ash can that's available for in Freakshow Night that got unlocked. So
Okay.
I brought him on to do that because again, I always want a different art team on the Freakshow stories. So he loves capable. You can really tell when your artist likes the story, and so he gets done with an issue. And he's like, "All right, where's the next script?" I'm like, "Hold on, man."
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mailed him a few months ago some copies so he could have some comps of his own, and he did an unboxing video and it almost put me into tears.
Oh
He's
man.
just so happy. Indonesia, it's a totally different country than compared to America.
Mhm.
Um, they don't have it as good as we have it here, and just him doing that unboxing video and seeing his being able to hold his work like that, it was really cool.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, you got to take care of everyone on your team.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Have you ever got so into your work you start like kind of doing voiceovers for it?
Oh yeah, repeating things in my head, like a line that I know I need to add as a dialogue, but I'm like saying it, walking around my apartment saying that line over and over again. Like
Yeah.
I gotta fit this in somehow.
Right.
Mm,
I
yeah,
imagine like he's been at it for like a solid week, and like every time he tries to sit down and eat, some
right.
shit pops up, and this was the final time. Like he's tired of it.
Yeah. With Red, what he does at night is he sleeps in a circle of fire barrels. So the
Mhm.
fire barrels keep the zombies away from him while he's sleeping. And when the fire goes out, it's time. Basically, he's got his 6 hours of sleep, and it's time to go back at it again. So
Okay.
that gives him, he lays up against a tree. The zombies stay away from the fire, but once that fire cools down, then he wakes up. Then he hears the zombies, starts cleaning it up, rinse and repeat.
Okay, so he's got a whole system set up. Like so, like you said, literally. I mean, he's doing this. This is his new routine.
Just like in prison, you have a routine every single day. You get up, same thing. So that's the analogy of the story, or one of them at least.
Hmm. Oh no, crap! Digital world. All right. So, in case you guys did not know, this Kickstarter is going right now, man. There's a link again. Be sure to check that Kickstarter out. And as I said, anything helps. Anything helps at all. So you can go to that Kickstarter. You see something you like on it, donate to it, and you can get whatever you want from it. Or you can say you're hard up for money. You don't have that much money. Donate $1. That's perfectly fine. We're not going to turn that away. Or if you don't have any money at all, which we can understand, times are hard. That's perfectly fine. Share it onto your network. Share it onto your social media. That is just as cool as you donating because you're helping us get potential new fans.
Speaking of that dollar pledge, I have it set up where right now, even a dollar pledge will get you 4 digital comics.
Would you look at that?
4 digital comics for $1. So I'm hooking up even the lowest pledge that's available out there.
Hey, that's an all-star guy right there, man.
Yeah,
He wants you to get in on this Kickstarter.
yeah.
He wants you to be included. Oh yeah, man, it's fun. Is that gonna go right? Yep, right where I needed it to drop in. So, do you have any other projects that you're working on?
Well, yeah, let me push the recount some more.
Ah,
that's my big book. It's coming out from Scout. That drops November 11th. So make sure you talk to your local comic book store. They can order that through Diamond. That's a political thriller. It's a mini series, and the concept I like to describe it as House of Cards meets The Purge.
okay.
So this fictional president gets assassinated during his resignation speech by one of his Secret Service agents. And then quickly after that, the conspirators come out to the public and announce that they're going to go after anyone that put that corrupt president into power, including the voters. And they release the voting information to the public and encourage people to turn on one another. So that's the I call it like it's the purge. That's where the purge part of it comes into play.
Wow.
And it's very apolitical. There's no agenda. I don't go in there trying to push any political side because I'm very apolitical. I'm not intelligent enough in the world of politics to try to push an agenda. Uh,
Hmm.
so it has a very, if you remember that show 24 with Kiefer Sutherland, it's like that. It's like Jack Ryan or a Tom Clancy style story.
Yeah.
Very fast paced, 4 issues. There was a 4-page ash can that Scout released a couple months ago. That's out of stock now. Um, so if that shows you the popularity of it, I think it's going to be huge. And I'm not saying it because I'm the one that wrote it. Been a lot of noise about it.
Nah, man, that's oh shoot, that's good. That's real
Yeah.
good. Shout out, a couple people just joined us. Uh, YK Vertex, Denise, Denise. I'm sorry if I'm destroying your names. But looks like Inevitably Dope sent you guys over this way. He will be on at 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. I'll be drawing him as an anime character, and we're going to be doing big boy damage. I'll make sure not to have Kool-Aid leaking, and we're going to serve up a 3-piece combo, no biscuit, live on my show tonight when he comes on. This is Jonathan Hedrick, drawing his character Red from a zombie comic book where Red is he was in jail and the zombie apocalypse happened, and now he is doing his daily jail routine out in the world. It has been adjusted to living and surviving in the zombie apocalypse. We put on there his Kickstarter link, so you guys can go check out his Kickstarter or whatnot. But shout out to Inevitably Dope for sending you guys over to check out what we got going on. But he will be on at 9 p.m. Eastern. So right now I'm trying to get. Oh no. Let me switch my layers. Got to make sure you're on the right layer, man. So I'm trying to get my like
speed lines.
speed lines, yeah. Because it doesn't need a. That's a cool thing about speed lines. When it's just you got to get the right amount. And I figured he would just like we're catching him right at the moment where he got up, spent around, and he's spinning the spear like I'm about to get you, like right in that moment.
I love it.
And so now I'm going to do motion blur. Oh, okay. Looks like you've done some updates that I didn't know about.
Ooh.
There we go. So there is that. And right now, we're going to do our classic replay here. And it's finished, man. I hope you dig it.
I love it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is Red and it's from Freakshow Night. It's on Kickstarter right now. He's got 3 days left, and he's even got a reward tier for if you donate $1 to his Kickstarter, where you get 4 digital comics for free. I don't think you can shake a stick at that at all. Be sure to go check it out. If it's not something up your alley, give it a share. It might be somewhere where somebody else might enjoy it. They might need a new zombie thriller to get them going or whatnot, and might want to check out what Red is. And the cool thing about the story is that Red is based off his dad, who is currently incarcerated for a violent crime. And Jonathan actually found his dad. He did not know who he was. He found him incarcerated. And so I think this is a really cool thing. And you're saying that, Jonathan, you guys have a decent kind of relationship now.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no grudges or ill will to him. I want him to be safe. I want him to get out and, make up for those times where we weren't able to, know each other outside.
Awesome. Hey guys, apologize if I destroyed your name. Apologies all the way around. But I hope you guys come back at 9 p.m. when we get with Inevitably Dope and get to draw him. This is Red right now, and I'm going to send this to you on the Google Drive. This is your piece. Cool. You can do whatever you want with it or whatnot. Maybe you want to throw it on that Kickstarter as a stretch goal or something.
I might just have to do that. Yep, I'll definitely put it to use. That's for sure, Mike.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
All right, man.
Joe, I got to work on it, but I say it a lot with my kids because me and my kids watch his videos, Inevitably Dope's videos, man, and they're pretty fun. That's why I got them on the show coming on tonight. All right, so I'm going to take a break, in between break here, rest myself up, eat the spaghetti my wife has for me, and then I'm going to be back on at 9 p.m. Eastern with Inevitably Dope. I want to thank Jonathan for coming onto the show, letting me play with his character in his world and whatnot. Had a good time. Was a great show. Be sure to check out his Kickstarter happening now. 3 days left. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hope to see you again tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Later.